My name is James, and I live in California. I pulled into the long-term parking lot at Toronto Pearson International Airport, excited to surprise my son for his birthday. I had flown in from Vancouver just for this. It was supposed to be a good day. As I walked between rows of parked cars, something caught my attention. A silver Honda Civic with condensation fogging the windows. I noticed movement inside. I stepped closer, and my heart stopped. My son, Michael, was asleep in the back seat. Curled beside him under a single blanket were my twin grandsons, Nathan and Oliver, 5 years old. In March, in an airport parking lot. I knocked on the window. Michael jolted awake and stared at me through the glass. For a moment, he didn't move. I saw something in his eyes I'd never seen before. Pure shame. He opened the door quietly so he wouldn't wake the boys. "Dad," he said hoarsely, "what are you doing here?" "What am I doing here?" I said, barely holding my voice steady. "Michael, what is going on? Where's the house? Where's Jennifer? Why are you living in your car with your children?" He looked away and said it was complicated. I told him nothing about this was complicated. The boys began to wake up. Nathan rubbed his eyes and whispered, "Grandpa?" That sound broke something open in my chest. I told the boys we were going for breakfast and that Grandpa and Dad needed to talk. An hour later, while they ate pancakes at Tim Hortons, Michael told me everything. Jennifer had left 3 months earlier. She'd convinced him to sign the house into her name for tax reasons. She managed the business finances. Then one day, he came home to changed locks and a restraining order. Her lawyer claimed he was mentally unstable and dangerous. Text messages, emails, witnesses, all lies, all believed. She drained the business accounts, including the $150,000 I'd invested, transferring the money to her father's account. Custody court came next. Michael lost. Supervised visits only. The judge said he needed stable housing and income first. Jennifer had made sure he had neither. I told him it ended now. He and the boys came to stay with me. That night, while the children slept, I started making calls. To lawyers, to an old detective friend, to anyone who could help. What I learned was worse than I imagined. This wasn't just divorce, it was coordinated financial abuse and parental alienation. We hired one of the best family lawyers in Ontario. A forensic accountant followed the money. Every dollar Jennifer moved led back to her father. No loan agreements, no consent, just systematic theft. Her witnesses fell apart under oath. Therapy records proved Michael was never unstable. Audio recordings of supervised visits showed happy children and fabricated reports. By the time we went back to court 6 months later, the truth was undeniable. The judge dismantled Jennifer's case piece by piece. Supervised visits were terminated immediately. Custody was split equally. Jennifer was ordered to repay $280,000. The case was referred for criminal investigation. When the ruling ended, Michael collapsed into tears. Outside the courtroom, Nathan and Oliver ran to him and asked if they were going home. He said yes, and for the first time in months, it was true. Later, Jennifer's father was charged with fraud. Jennifer accepted a plea deal. Michael rebuilt his life, this time with lawyers, contracts, and protection. I stayed in Toronto. I see my grandsons every week. We play chess, we build towers, we don't let them fall. One night, Michael thanked me for showing up that day. I told him fathers don't abandon their children, ever. He said he'd learned that from me. When Nathan asked me not to let the Jenga tower fall, I promised I wouldn't. And I meant it. Not just the game, not just that moment. I meant my son. I meant my grandsons. I meant family.